So if you know about me, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you already know this, but I'm going to remind you and also inform you if you didn't already know, I love Gears of War. Okay, I do a lot of smack talking about console fanboys and the console war on this channel. I do a lot of hoisting up of the PC as a platform. But if there's any like big console exclusive or, you know, like the big console selling IPs that I absolutely love and have a really special place in my heart, it's Gears of War. The original Gears of War was the game that got me into gaming. When I was a kid, I grew up, I played plenty of arcade games and sports games and, casual Nintendo games, but it was the original Gears of War that really made me look at video games as something that could be like a long-term experience, something to get immersed in, something to tell a story. That blew my stupid little head off in 2nd or 3rd grade when I played this game for the first time. I was definitely way too young to play this game. But I love Gears of War, and I have been more let down than basically anyone else at how bad this franchise has fallen off. I thought Gears 4 had great gameplay and the Horde mode was actually great, but the story was not good. The multiplayer, while fun, was basically just Gears 3 a second time, especially with the sheer number of recycled maps in that game. And then Gears 5, throwback to this video I made when Gears 5 first came out, like 4 or 5 years ago, in case you want to watch a really old Joe from Seattle video that sucks. But like, I was okay with Gears 5 at first, but then I don't think I played the game for more than an hour after I made that initial review on it. I just went back to Gears 4. And for a laundry list of reasons, Gears of War has basically completely fallen off, if we're being honest, in terms of its, status as a AAA franchise. There have been rumors of Gears 6, there have been rumors of a Gears Master Chief Collection style re-release, which I would pee my pants over, but I just want any kind of good news at this point.
I wouldn't say it's a slam dunk, but they do have an easy route to make this game, work and be good. It's just a matter of like, are their priorities in line with, the betterment of that franchise?
And what do you know, we had a bunch of Gears 6 leaks the other day, and let me tell ya, none of them were what I wanted to hear. So up to this point, it's been rumored that Gears 6 is going to be open world, and obviously I'll take all leaks with a grain of salt because even the most credible sources have said wrong things before. So just keep in mind that everything in this video is alleged, it's not confirmed, but it's from sources that are more trustworthy than not, which is why I'm putting time into making a video on it, because the likelihood of this being true is pretty high, and even if it's not true, it's fun stuff to talk about, okay? There's your disclaimer. But not too long ago, inside sources were claiming that Gears 6 could be open world, and now more inside sources, isn't gaming fun nowadays? They're saying Gears of War 6 will not only be revealed at the June showcase for Xbox, but also everyone was just wetting themselves over how good it looked. Gears of War 6 will be the moment for Xbox Series X. People aren't ready. Insiders say Gears of War 6 will show full power of Xbox Series. And see, this is why I wanted to talk about this, and this is why I am very concerned for Gears 6. Because, I wouldn't be surprised if Gears 6 ends up being open world. Gears 5 was half open world, and the open world was universally seen as the worst part about the game. But also, open world games are all the rage, and I kind of find it hard to believe Coalition's been working on a linear Gears 6 for like 5 years now with nothing to show for it. I'm definitely expecting Gears of War 6 to keep going in the gameplay direction that Gears 5 was, and I made a whole video about why that's the worst idea imaginable already. You can go watch that. But the reason I'm making this video, and the reason I'm actually so annoyed right now, is because we have insiders, we have trusted insiders with a reputation to protect. We have people like that openly claiming to have seen Gears of War 6. They've seen it. They think the graphics are going to be incredible. They're saying this is going to be the moment that the Xbox becomes the Xbox with something really visually amazing to show. You claim to have seen the game, and none of you have anything to say about the gameplay or the plot. And as a Gears of War fan who lived through the fall from Gears 3 to Gears 5, that concerns me.
The thing about the graphics thing is just the fact that that's how everyone is. Everyone wants to focus on fucking graphics these days when it comes to the whole, oh, this is the next gen stuff. It's all graphically pretty. It's like, who fucking cares if it's graphically pretty? I can play an 8-bit game and be hyped.
Yeah. Like, the original Gears of War was a big moment. Yes, the original Gears of War on the 360 was a huge moment because of the jump from, standard definition to high definition. Gears of War was, for all intents and purposes, a lot of people's first exposure to an HD game. And as time went on, every Gears of War game looked really good by the standards of its time. Gears of War 3 still honestly looks good today, largely thanks to its art style. Remember when games had art styles and weren't just trying to look as realistic as possible? And I mean, Gears of War 4 looked great by the time. Gears 5 looks and runs amazing. As much smack as I'll talk about Gears 5, and as much as I'll be criticizing Gears 5 in the near future, I feel, because there's gonna be a lot of, I just feel with the amount of Gears of War news that's going to come out over the next year or two, I'm inevitably going to make more Gears of War subjected videos, at which point I'm going to make a lot of unfavorable comparisons between Gears 5 and every other Gears of War game. Do you understand now why I'm concerned that people have absolutely nothing to say about Gears 6's gameplay after Gears 5? I feel like there's been this weird expectation put on Gears of War now to be the most graphically demanding, technically demanding, visually impressive shooter ever imaginable. Like, there's some really high expectations on Gears 6's graphics. Expectations that are high enough for Microsoft and the Coalition to seemingly be putting that at the forefront of their project, is making sure it looks absolutely incredible, to the point that it's going to be the moment for Gears, for the Xbox Series. Never mind the fact that I really don't know how much better you can make Gears 5 look. Because Gears 5 running on modern hardware with all the next gen updates and all the additional graphics options on the PC version, Gears 5 honestly looks phenomenal. So pardon me for being skeptical right out of the gate that we're now hearing Gears 6 is going to be the game-changing moment. Gears 5 already looks like this. I just don't believe you when you imply that there's going to be such a graphical jump or such a graphical leap or such a massive technical visual achievement with Gears 6 that it's going to be the moment. Excuse me for being skeptical of the game now, because Gears 5 already looks like this. Am I making sense here? Do you see the point that I'm making? But anyways, I guess I'm just rambling about Gears now, because the Coalition, I'm so split on them as a studio, because it seems like they can't make up their mind over whether or not they really understand what Gears is all about and what people want from the series, because they've had some really good ideas that were basically refinements and advancements of the stuff that Epic Games had already done in Gears 3. I think the movement and controls and just like how the game feels for Gears 4, like going from 3 to 4, just the feel of the gameplay and the moment-to-moment movement and shooting of Gears 4 felt fantastic. I think that is the best Gears has ever felt, including Gears 5. Because in Gears 5, not only did they do a bunch of weird control changes, but they also changed the interface, they added hit markers, they did a bunch of weird things to the gameplay that just kind of cluttered the design a bit and made it feel a lot less smooth than Gears 4. Horde mode. Gears 4's Horde mode, while infested with the mid-2010s microtransaction loot box nonsense of its time, the design of Gears 4, the customization of Gears 4, the upgradability of Gears 4, the grind value, the replay value, like Gears 4's Horde. Again, loot boxes from Microsoft aside. The Horde design of Gears 4, top notch, best in the franchise if you ask me. Gears 5, I played like 3 matches of Horde and never touched it again, because much like the movement and shooting that from Gears 4 to Gears 5, the Horde from Gears 4 to Gears 5 was the result of leaning into the wrong things. You took the wrong traits of your good ideas from the last game and you leaned into them for really no reason. And that's not even getting into the story of Gears 5. Rewatching my old review, I was actually pretty positive about the story of Gears 5 up until the end. But I tried to replay this game and oh my goodness, I don't know if it's just because I know the story going in this time, or maybe just my standards for gameplay have gotten higher, but my gosh, in my initial review, I said the game was like a B-, and I was pretty positive about the gameplay and the story of the campaign up until the final act. But looking back on it, Gears 5's campaign is just kind of bad. The story, while I think decently presented and decently written, and the enemies are much more interesting than all the robots of 4, I'll give you that, The ending of Gears 5 is such a mess. It comes out of nowhere, it opens way too many questions that we don't have time to answer, and it feels like the Coalition has no interest in answering, given how quiet they've been about absolutely everything since this game came out, at least in terms of lore. But also, the campaign gameplay of Gears 5 is just not good. It's the Gears 4 gameplay format, but simplified, and then with some weird open world sections thrown in, with basically nothing to do in those open world sections, so all the open world sections serve to do is to lengthen the gameplay artificially and completely destroy any emotional pacing of the main story. Again, can you see why I am harping on the fact that people are claiming to have seen Gears 6 early, and they have nothing to say to reassure anyone that we're going in the right direction in any way other than impressive visuals, which the game before Gears 6 already has. I am very Concernicus for Gears 6. You heard of Copernicus? Well, I'm Concernicus. That's dumb. I'm just gonna end it there, Toodles. You want my fucking hot take about Cliff Bleszinski? This is my fucking hot take about Cliff Bleszinski. That dude is such a goofball. But when he has people reining in his ideas, he's one of the most consistent, I would say consistent game designers around. Because his work with Gears of War was great, right? And then he does fucking Lawbreakers, which, like, you can meme Lawbreakers all you want. You can meme, like, what it was sold as, what the energy about it was, but when you look at just the gameplay of Lawbreakers, the gameplay of Lawbreakers was very good. And then on top of that, fucking Radical Heights. They're like, oh, this is our last-ditch effort to save the company from bankruptcy. We're throwing this thing together in like 2 weeks, and it was still one of the better battle royales on the market at that time. That's my Joe from Seattle hot take. Cliff Bleszinski does not get enough credit as a game designer because he has been so quick to put his name on games that are designed great but look like ass.
He's an oddball, he's strange, and he is that way, but like, give that man backing, give that man the team he wants, and he can make good stuff.
Yeah,